Hi, it's Joe Mazumdar from Exploration Insights at the Metal Investment Forum in Vancouver, Canada, and I've got Rick Van Nieuwenhuyse from Trilogy Metals. Rick?
Pleasure.
Trilogy's got two big copper projects in Alaska that you're advancing at different stages. You're funded, you've got a joint venture partner, so what's happening with respect to each project?
Yes, last year was a very busy year. This year is going to be an equally busy year with probably even more catalysts than last year. So at Arctic, we completed a pre-feasibility study last year. Great economics. It's a high-grade deposit. It's 43 million tons of 5% copper equivalent in an open-pit mining scenario. So I don't think there's anything else like it on the planet. 1.4 billion post-tax NPV, 33% IRR. So it's a real project. We don't need higher metal prices.
What's the payback on that?
2 years, less than 2 years.
Less than 2 years.
Yeah, at $3 copper. So at $2 copper, it's a 3-year payback. Okay. Not very many mines make much money at a $2 copper price. So this is a real project. And so we've completed the pre-feasibility study last year. We're working on the feasibility study now. And really what we're doing is preparing the project to start permitting. And obviously that's the next sort of big milestone for us on that project over the course of the next years to get the project ready. Meanwhile, over at Bornite, we've been spending our business partner South32's money for the last couple of years. We drilled 25 holes, about 19,000 meters of drilling. Drilling the deeper portion of the potentially underground mineable portion of the deposit, expanding the resource base. We'll have a resource update in February on that. We already have outlined about 125 million tons of 1% copper with some byproduct cobalt in an open pit mining scenario, and then about 58 million tons of almost 3% copper plus the cobalt in an underground mining scenario. So in addition to that, now we've got the 25 other holes that have expanded the underground portion of that. So, I'm guessing we'll probably see 100 million tons in the underground.
So for background, I'm sure some people don't know who South32 is. So South32 is an ASX listed company, base metal producer, spun out of BHP Billiton.
Yeah.
And they've been quite active.
Yeah, they've been active, and they've when they were spun out, it was a downside of the market, and they've actually performed extremely well, better than all of the other diversifieds. They're generating about $1.5 billion of free cash flow, and they've said we're going to dividend $500 million to our shareholders. We're going to use $500 million on our brownfields projects, and then we're going to have an opportunity fund for $500 million. So the money that we're spending is coming out of that opportunity fund. So they're well situated as one of the larger diversified companies. Been great partners.
And they recently made a purchase a couple of years ago with Arizona Mining.
Yeah, last year, of course, they big high profile takeout of Arizona Mining. I expect that's down the road. That's in our future. They are a shareholder. They bought shares in the market. So that's they have no special rights with that, but in terms of board seats and things like that. They've been a good partner. We're having discussions to let's see what this joint venture is going to look like. It's going to take a while to put together. So
this 3 years ends when of the option period?
From a legal standpoint, January of 2020 is if they don't make that decision by then, it expires and they get zero for it.
Right.
But from a practical standpoint, we'll actually spend the option money in August of this year, August, September.
How much cumulative would that be by the time?
30 million.
30 million.
Yeah,
so 30 million US has gone in, but you've only spent that on Bornite.
We've only spent it on Bornite. The option is for the entire,
right,
all of our holdings in the Ambler district. But we have spent their risk money, if you will, at
so the joint venture that gets triggered once you spend it, then they have to make a decision to keep going, and that decision could be on Bornite and or on Arctic, but that would be $140 million going into this 50-50 JV that will have to get spent before you would actually have to
put money in. It's 150, but yeah.
150, sorry.
And it's US dollars. We spend it in US, so we just kind of think of everything in US dollars. But yeah, that's the next spend, if you will. We don't really have any reason to raise money. We've got $20 million in the bank right now, US. We've got $10 million in warrants that'll come in. They're deeply in the money, so they'll come in the next several months. And then, of course, we get another $10 million from South 32.
Right.
We'll spend that, but that's just the formula. So,
Okay.
yeah, we're in good shape, and there's, like I said, lots of catalysts coming up.
So with respect to those catalysts, what should we be expecting next 6 to 12 months?
Let's see. First off, we'll have a resource update on Bornite based on the 25 holes that we drilled in the last 2 years. That'll be a copper and a cobalt resource update, primarily on the underground expansion of the underground resources there. We'll have metallurgy on copper and cobalt, good detailed work on that. So we'll have a good understanding of how much cobalt is there and how much of it's actually going to end up in a pyrite concentrate that we can do something with. That makes it meaningful, so it doesn't just evaporate. You can have cobalt that you can't collect; it doesn't mean anything, right? So then we'll have a series of catalysts on the road with the draft EIS expected out in sometime in the summer.
Right.
EIS before the end of the year and record decision shortly thereafter. So hopefully by the end of the year or in Q1 of 2020, we'd have the road piece. And of course, that's always been the more controversial aspect of the project is the road.
Because most of your permitting for Arctic is, like you were saying in your presentation, is actually a state.
Yeah. And there, Alaska's a great place to work. The state is very supportive of resource development. We're partnered with an Alaska Native Corporation, NANA. They own the Red Dog mine. That's been a huge economic benefit for the region. Taxes that the mine pay for the borough government, for the school district, for the village governments. So it's very well distributed, which of course in other jurisdictions can always be, has been known to be problematic, that companies paying their taxes, but
it doesn't come back.
But it stays in the capital city or where it just disappears, right? So, yeah.
All right. Looks like you've got a very busy year, a well-funded year, and I guess the big triggers for people out there to know is that road, you might see a record of decision before the end of the year, and you also might see, hopefully see a decision by your joint venture partner whether to complete the option period and actually go and trigger the joint.
Yeah, those are two huge catalysts, obviously. Yeah, so we're looking forward to that, and meanwhile, we'll keep drilling and getting good results out there. So.
Okay, thanks for showing up, Rick.
Pleasure. Good to see you.
Thank you. It's Joe Mazumdar, Exploration Insights, Metal Investment Forum in Vancouver, Canada. Thank you very much.